Tottenham Hotspur have won the FA Cup 2 years running, but Hoddle's congratulations of Waddock say it all. Ray Clements is relieved because Queen's Park Rangers put up a wonderful fight in the second half here, and Tottenham hung on for dear life, and they hung on successfully. Well, what a match Gary Waddock had for Rangers. Glenn Hoddle's penalty, the deciding goal. Peter Hucker, it had to be a penalty to beat him in the end. Keith Birkinshaw's team finish up with a trophy after all. Ricky Villiers looks on with the other Tottenham reserves. And what an anxious time they had on the bench in that second half, when Queen's Park Rangers did their club and the second division in general proud. Emotional scenes now. The relief for Tottenham must be enormous. For Terry Venables, there has to be a great deal of praise for him and his team. They've made a very, very good match of tonight's replay. They showed character in both games, but tonight they dictated play for much of the second half. Alan Harris, the assistant there to Terry Venables, having a word with disconsolate players, but they've no reason to feel anything other than proud. Spurs have made it 7 FA Cup wins out of 7. They've equalled Aston Villa's record of 7 FA Cup triumphs, but Spurs have never lost in a final, and Steve Perryman has an honour now which has only gone to 2 men previously this century. Joe Harvey of Newcastle and Danny Blanchflower of Tottenham did this, went up to receive the cup 2 years running. Ray Clements gets a winner's medal in his first season at Tottenham. And up that specially widened gangway, where the crowd can't quite reach them now, come the Tottenham team, and the footballer of the year, Steve Perryman, goes forward to receive the FA Cup from His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent. The end of a very long Tottenham season, but that's what came at the end. Graham Roberts there with the cap. His run produced the penalty, which produced the goal. 7 times now Spurs have won the FA Cup. An assortment of caps being worn. Paul Miller there, what a second half he had. It was desperate defence, but he held out. Archibald, who hit the post in the last minute. Clements, who was a tremendous influence. Price, an FA Cup winner's medal in his first season at Spurs. And now Chris Hughton wearing a Queen's Park Rangers shirt, but the men who wore them with such endeavour and such ability for the second division. Tony Curry leads his team up. Jim Gregory, I should imagine, a very happy chairman tonight, even in defeat. Gary Waddock, many people's vote, surely is the man of the match. Steve Burke, the sub, hardly had time to make an impact. Gregory hit the bar. Stainrod bothered Tottenham as well. And so too, while he was on, did Michael White. Bob Hazel, tremendous at the back and when he came forward. And Ian Gillard ends a long career at Queen's Park Rangers with a loser's medal. Birkinshaw, who must have wondered at times whether Tottenham would ever retrieve their touch in the second half. But the signs of tiredness are there for all to see now. This means that Tottenham Hotspur go into the European Cup Winners' Cup again. It also means, for the record, and I'm sure it'll be mentioned anyway, that Southampton take the other UEFA Cup place. Ricky Villiers, the hero a year ago, watching there with Mark Falco. But the hero this year for many, many people was the Queen's Park Rangers goalkeeper, Peter Hucker. in the end beaten by a penalty. Rangers, bear in mind, had to make the changes. Clive Allen on crutches, his ankle heavily strapped, missed the second match, so did Glenn Roeder, but how well their replacements perform. Spurs, who played 66 matches this season and lost only 13. So in the end, I suppose you can say that the FA Cup final nobody wanted settled by penalties was in fact determined by a penalty. Peter Shreeves and Johnny Wallace in the back row there, part of the Tottenham staff. Mike Varney as well, the physiotherapist, enjoying the moment. Keith Birkinshaw. And no wonder they're getting a good round of applause. Tony Curry, who led the team with so much spirit and had the misfortune to give away the penalty. Well, they'll look back, Queen's Park Rangers, on the ball being in the Tottenham net and the goal being disallowed, on a penalty appeal when Fenwick thought he was fouled, on Gregory's shot that hit the bar. But in the end, as I think one of the Aston Villa players said last night, Jimmy Rimmer, it's winning that counts if you're a professional footballer, and Spurs have won. And the big Argentine has received a generous reception from the Wembley crowd tonight, and he also receives a Tottenham scarf. Keep voting for your man of the match, by the way. The lines are still open. Ian Gillard, who now has a free transfer from Queen's Park Rangers. And Glenn Hoddle, scorer of the only goal of the replay. It was in fact his 15th of the season. 6 of them have been penalties. Now he'll be turning his attention towards the World Cup and England's prospects in Spain. Queen's Park Rangers crowd giving their team a marvellous send-off. There are some fans who've broken the security cordon, which is a shame, but generally speaking, it's an orderly scene. Steve Perryman, over 660 matches for Tottenham, and the banner was right. They'd won it 6 times out of 6, and now they've made it 7. And they go now to the end where the Spurs fans are congregated. And there'll be some dancing and singing again tonight in Tottenham High Road. The £2 million final. The fans have dug deep into their pockets. Indeed, that goes for Tottenham supporters the whole season, the places they've been, in Europe and in domestic cup matches, and following their team in the league. And for those people, there was a reward right at the end of the lane. So the Wembley floodlights beat down as Spurs take the FA Cup in a replay for the 2nd year running. A final score in the Cockney Cup final of 1982 of 2nd Division Queen's Park Rangers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. And now down in the interview room, Barry Davis.
Well, with me, a man who must look back on his team's performance with considerable pride, even though they lost, the Queen's Park Rangers manager, Terry Venables.
Yes.
You'd agree with that, no doubt?
Very much so. I'm very proud of all of them, yes.
Tough luck?
I thought so. I thought we were the better side on the night, and I think they would agree with that as well. I think they do agree with that, and I'd like to thank our supporters. I thought they were absolutely magnificent, and everybody representing the club, first class.
Terry, I'm going to ask you to do the honours of making the presentation for the man of the match, which, remember, is over the 2 matches. I don't think there's any doubt who the recipient should be. He's your goalkeeper standing on your left, Peter Hucker.
Congratulations, Peter. Thoroughly deserved it.
Cheers.
Well done, Tim. You always wear it?
Peter, let's have a... He wants his colleagues to see it. Yes, he wanted to swap it. Let's have that belt. He's trying very hard here. If you can't just see, he's trying very hard to swap the award, which he's thoroughly deserved, for the FA Cup. But Chris Hughton, who's keeping a hold of it, is making quite sure that he doesn't. Peter, just a comment on the two matches overall. Chris, don't go away.
Well, I was really pleased to do well in the games. It's very difficult coming into games like that. They're difficult games to play, and I'm just really a bit sorry for the crowd. Like, they've been marvellous, supported us really well. I think they deserve a little bit better.
Tremendous stop from Steve Archibald tonight.
I'm his bogeyman.
Well, football is about winners and losers. Tough luck to Terry Fenwick, but if I can invite Graham Roberts, Glenn Hoddle and Chris Hughton to join me. Graham, your run that produced the decisive moment.
Yes, I picked the ball up and I went past one defender and I just see a gap, so I just knocked the ball, and Bob Hazel, I think it was, he went to slide tackle me and he missed the ball, so I felt I had to go all the way, so I just kept running and running, and I think it was Terry Curry just caught my ankles as I was going to kick the ball. So.
Yeah. You seem to me to have something of a rush of blood to the head, Hazel. Glenn, you didn't take too much time over putting it away, did you?
Well, once Graham went down and the referee gave it, my first thought was get it in the back of the net. The last one I took against Schultz, I missed at Forest in the league, so I was a little bit worried. And,
Which one did you put it? I didn't watch.
You didn't watch?
You didn't watch?
Oh, no.
Thanks very much, Chris. Come on, then.
Well, a little ironic, Glenn, that in the end it was decided by penalty.
Yes, it was. It's a shame, but you know, it was a good game first half, we felt, for us, and give Queen's Park Rangers their due. They came out of second half and they produced a great sort of performance second half, and it was end-to-end stuff. I mean, they could have had sort of 3 goals and we could have had 3 second half, so it was good, entertaining stuff, I felt.
Yes, I would think feelings of relief as much as elation, but congratulations on winning it on what was your 6-6 match of the season.
Thank you.
Well, watching that with amusement too and enjoyment, Laurie McMenemy and Jimmy Hill, and a second half to remember. And Jimmy, your half-time forecast wasn't bad, was it? Rangers with spirit, and they produced it.
It wasn't only the spirit, it's the fact that Spurs have had a tough season. I'm afraid people will never understand that footballers sometimes run out of energy like a racehorse, and they were feeling their season in the second half tonight and on Saturday. That's why I always gave Rangers a sneaking chance, but at the end of the day, I can't say I'm glad that Spurs won it, because I think Rangers were unlucky. That John Gregory lob, which he did mean, which hit the bar, I thought was the tragedy of the night.
I'll tell you something you don't know. Laurie, who needed Spurs to win to get into Europe with Southampton, in the end was cheering Rangers because you enjoyed their fight back, didn't you?
Well, that's right. I was unfair to ask me to comment on this game tonight. I was sheer purgatory the second half. I was heading balls in, I was keeping them off the lane, but I must say, Terry Venables, full marks. I asked the commissioner in the lift, what was the next occasion here? He said the Pope's here on Saturday, and I'll tell you, there's only the Holy Father could follow that.
Yeah, and in fact, it means you're going to Europe.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Well, it really was a tremendous finish to that match. The result, of course, Spurs, for the second time in 20 years, retain the cup, which is a unique performance. And now from us all here at Wembley, good night.